20 years now lost. It's not right. Hello.
Hello.
Remember us?
These two guys on your Monday night. We're back.
We remember.
Pepperidge Farm remembers.
That's right. Episode 238. Here we are. Monday, 9 o'clock EST. If you're here, you already know. This episode, like so many others, brought to you by Black Box Cages and blackboxcages.com. Shop around, check them out. You need racks, you need cages. Black Box.
They got you.
Will fulfill your wages.
Fulfill your wages.
I don't know. Fulfill your rages. Shop around. Like I said, racks, cages, if you need it, they got it. A little bit of everything for a little bit of everybody. Use code THN25 at checkout, get a little bit of a discount, and then double down on those savings if you're in the southeast area and you're near North Georgia. There's a pickup option. Just select that at checkout. Jet on up to Black Box when your order's ready. Grab it. See the operation. Meet the gang. Take those cages or racks home or both and enjoy them for a lifetime. And then after you've sweated and hauled all your stuff, managed to get it exactly where you want in your room, you're like, man, I need new shirts. Mine are sweaty. Best place to go, fullviewapparel.com. I am biased. They are mine. I do make them handcrafted with hands. Use code THN at checkout there. Get 15% off your order. That is the exclusive promo code for THN listeners and viewers like you. I got this new Satanic Panic one.
Oh, that's cool, man. That's really cool.
This is the test print. I got to make some.
Are you going to do something that glow in the dark?
No.
Oh, okay. That'd be cool if you did.
My camera's struggling. So, yeah, check it out. I added some new stuff last week or the week before last. There's a handful of new designs. Go check them out. Nate did do some advertising for Fulvius at Crocfest in Texas.
Excellent.
Does he get a commission for advertising? I don't know. What else we got going on here? Dude, my eyes are getting worse and worse by the week. Usual suspects. Jeff Frederick is here. Tyson. Nate, like I said. Robert. Hunter. Dustin Black was in there somewhere. Yeah, so everyone, and we're glad we're back. I know you're glad we're back. We've had a lot of people message, at least me. I don't know about you, Phil, but I've had a lot of people reach out to me asking like what's been going on.
Oh yeah.
We'll get into that shortly. But before we get too far into the weeds there, Cold-Blooded Caffeine, also check them out. Snakes and Stogies blend. One of a very large amount of excellent selections that Cold-Blooded Caffeine has to offer. Trey and McKendrick really do make some truly good coffee, and you can go get you some and then use the code SMOKE at checkout and get a little off that order as well. So 3 awesome brands, 3 awesome savings. Go get you some of everything. I was actually thinking about Black Box because I've talked to Jen recently and she was like, what do you have as far as ideas for something? Like, and I've really been struggling to think of something that I like, what do I really need? That's something different. And then I was thinking about today, I have like a big stack of V70s and I might move those snakes and those into one of my other larger racks. And then I was thinking about the idea I had was making sort of a shelf unit to keep spiders and stuff that runs heat tape.
Nice.
And maybe has lights in it, almost like a cabinet, but without doors.
Okay.
Like a bookshelf in a sense, but that has heat run through it.
Nice.
I don't know. I have the idea in my head. I have not talked to Jen about it yet, but is that something you think like spider people would use if it's Like I feel like having the heat for slings and stuff and raising up stuff that maybe needs a little more heat, or like the option to have heat whether you use it or not.
Even if it's just in winter, even if it's just.
I'm thinking about what I see a lot of people using, and it's usually like bookshelves that you find at Walmart or on, Facebook Marketplace or something. But it's like if you had something that was dedicated, like had heat, you could somehow get lights in there too if you wanted, and that you can turn off per shelf individually, whatever. I'm just thinking about it. So
I think having the heat, the option of the heat availability there is a good idea. I love the fact of having the LEDs like hidden in the front lip. I definitely want to talk to Jen about the next batch of cages, because I love the way she does the lighting. Like it's just everything is perfect, and having all the wires and the cord mitigation is fantastic. But definitely do some kind of diffuser, because I put my head in the cage and like turn around to like see what it's like for the
staring
snake.
at the sun.
It literally feels like you're being abducted. So by aliens, that is. So yeah, something like some kind of diffuser, like plastic, light dimmer, whatever you want to call it.
The tubes that they like, the fixtures they use in the cages, like they do have a sheet over them. At least mine do. I don't know.
I don't think mine do. I think mine are just straight up LEDs. Just
yeah. I mean, Dustin Black said, he said if you can do something with back heat that you could actually display, it would be a hit, even if it was a row of like the 12x12 invert. Something that I can use for tubs, or if I wanted to put some exos in there. Like I'm just as simple as it sounds. I feel like there's nothing really available right now that is catered towards invert keeping in the way that people traditionally do it, but from a PVC cage company that also sort of matches the rest of a room if someone has herps and stuff. Like,
absolutely.
I think there's some potential there. I don't know. The more I think about it, the more I like it, and I'm getting to a point now where I need to get some sort of shelving unit, because I have a bunch of spiders stacked on top of my Rhino Exoterra right now, and that lid's screaming a little bit. So
I updated a couple smaller snakes into bigger tubs, and that freed up some wire rack shelving, and now I got scorpions like not on display, but for lack of a better word, on display. So I'm totally with you that it would be cool to have something of that caliber, specifically.
I think the lighting thing is the lighting's a big thing for me too, just being able to sort of see what I'm doing, because right now I kind of have to move stuff on top of my apophysis tank, which is right below my ceiling light on my table, because my room is an absolute disaster right now. And so for me to be able to see inside of what I'm doing, I have to move it over and like open it with the light and stuff like that. So it just
I know what that's like. I do. I actually just I just had my annual inspection this past Friday, and for the 3-4 days before, you're doing all your deep cleaning and changing everything out, and the rooms never look better. But it is amazing how much crap accumulates that you don't realize is accumulated. You know what I'm saying?
And every time I'll clean it, I'll be like, I'm going to keep it like this. I'm going to make sure that I don't.
And
then it's like within a month, it's like, what the hell, man?
And then, every time the room is spotless, I like to have Anna Maria come in and take a gander at my masterpiece. And she's like, wow, it looks great in here, except for that giant stack of deli cups. And I'm like, oh yeah, I guess I could put them somewhere. And she's like, yeah, let's put them in a bin. Let's organize a bin. Oh yeah, that lighter came out great. That lighter came out fantastic.
Details, not really.
But so, and thank God I have her in my life to help me choreograph and organize such devices. But like I would have never thought, like we could take that stack of delis and we could put that in something else and disguise it and hide it, and it's always something. It's just amazing how it gets cluttered so quick you don't even realize it's cluttered.
Oh, I realize mine's cluttered, dude, because I have an avalanche of delis and deli lids if I move something the wrong way.
Oh, what are we smoking? Look at that yellow band. Is that a yellow and blue band?
So since this is the great return,
yes.
I got a Foundation Cigars Olmec.
Nice.
Which is definitely one of
yellow and black.
good One of their really, really solid blends that I do recommend. It is a little more expensive, but it is worth the money.
Excellent. And I did something very similar. We keep talking about the Black Label Gurkha Cellar Reserve, aged 15. So here it is, kids. The Gurkha Cellar Reserve.
Yeah, and I keep saying, so like, I mean, honestly, I've been so busy with stuff that like I do need to spend a solid day on a weekend and do sort of a deep clean of the room and just clean up and reorganize a little bit and make things presentable. And it hasn't happened. Mostly just I haven't had the energy and I just haven't really had the desire to spend the time to do it.
Yeah.
You know, it's brutal. But it's gotta happen. So
yeah, even if you do a little bit every week, like I didn't realize how many toilet paper rolls I saved, and I was like, holy crap, I have like 30 toilet paper rolls.
Find these little stashes of them.
Yeah, I probably should change out the ones that are in tubs. You know.
Yeah, and I mean, I need to go through and do like a complete substrate change on pretty much everybody. That's on Aspen at least, and I've got like half empty racks that I need to just move animals into from standalone tubs, just because it's time, and I've got the space to do it now, and
sure,
it's just been one of those things where it's I gotta kind of like mentally plan and prepare myself to buckle down and just do it and not get distracted. And
you got to give yourself at least a whole Sunday or something, just to get the ball rolling, get a good chunk done.
Yeah. See, Tyson asked, have we seen the latest news from Morph Market that supposedly you can only use a shipping box from the shipping company you're using? Which is news to me because I'm pretty sure the last 2 boxes I've sent out were Ship Your Reptiles boxes when I use Reptiles Express. So
interesting.
I don't think that's true, honestly.
What if I don't want to use, what if I just have a brown cardboard box?
I think it's more so you can't use, like if you ship through Reptiles Express, you can't use a Ship Your Reptiles box. But I honestly don't see how FedEx can possibly enforce that with the number of boxes they have coming and going. Like, is FedEx really going to take the time to stop?
And
check this label, make sure that says it's coming from SYR, not RE.
Yeah, I don't think it's even a FedEx thing, but a Morph Market thing, right? Is that what Tyson's saying?
Morph Market is saying that you can't use boxes other than from the company you're shipping with, whether it's theirs or not. I guess I don't know, but it's like,
oh yeah, FedEx policy, but it says it does say you can't reuse boxes. Interesting. I
would say again, how do they, like, as rough as they are with boxes, how are they going to know whether it's a reused box or one that just got freaking soccer balled from the tarmac to the truck?
Yeah, Ace Ventura style.
Like, I don't know. I call BS personally. But
yeah, well, time will tell.
What's up, buddy?
I got a lot, man. It's been very busy. It's been a very busy month, and very, very hectic month, very emotional month, very costly month. But what's new on Smitty's front?
I mean, definitely not that. But
how's corn snakes?
Corn snakes are good. I got a prelay shed from a female.
How's gonyos?
Gonyos are all right. Went to the highlight of the turmoil of my life as of this past week can be summed up in a Facebook post in a South Carolina tarantula group of a lady selling her collection, which I messaged her, Dustin Black, Bill Bradley, and Lucas Indher, I think is how you pronounce his last name. Don't quote me on that. We were like, okay, let's all go in together and buy it.
Okay, cool.
And so they sent me the money for what they wanted off the list. It was like 27 spiders.
Nice. Not too big, but not too small.
I was gonna go up there Friday and get it. Lady said I got called into work, so I can't do it Friday. Let's do Saturday. So then Friday night, I went to the ATM, pulled out the cash, and just before I did that, I messaged her and said, "What time works best for you tomorrow?" And then after I pulled out the cash, I get a message from her saying, Unfortunately, I'm going to hold on to them because our plans to move changed.
Oh, really?
And so I was like, oh, okay. She was telling me how they were moving to Alaska and all this other stuff. And
All
I'm
right.
like, I'm kind of calling bullshit on this as well, because I feel like your plans to move across the country don't just change overnight like that.
They do not. No.
I'm like 98% sure someone offered her more money, which she told me people were messaging her trying to give her more money for
Okay.
the group. And I'm almost positive she took one of those, even though she told me she was not going to.
Yeah, that's
She's like, I have a good feeling about you. And I'm like, okay, cool. I'm like, I mean, I have cash.
Yeah.
So I think she sold to somebody else. And so,
yeah. Oh, wow.
Fuck her.
Yep.
It's pretty irritated. So then Danielle and her husband and some of our other Buford friends here went to the Charleston Repticon Saturday morning. So I was like, I got some money to spend now. Things fell through. So I went and bought me some spiders.
Cool.
Shout out to Kyle and Adam at Caveman's Reptiles. They had a table there that was pretty much nothing but inverts. Really good selection, really good prices. He worked, Adam in particular worked out a bunch of deals with me because I feel like every time I made a round around the building, I stopped at his table and be like, what can you do on these two? Do another lap, come back. What about these two?
Did you go shopping for Black or Bill or anybody else who was?
No, they didn't really.
Okay.
They didn't have it. So like the jackass upstate who was selling, I'm bitter. So if I sound bitter, it's because I fucking am.
You sound a little bitter. That's all right.
She had a female Ornata and a Metallica. I don't know if the Metallica was a female or not, but I was like, sweet. I've been wanting Ornata. Ornata are not particularly easy to come by because it's an ESA species. So you have to know somebody that's willing to gift you some, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
And then she had some other odds and ends that I was like, sweet, I've never had those, but I've always wanted them. I think, Blue Fang was one of them. Some Cereopagopus, some other odds and ends. So I was like, this would be cool. There's like a handful of species that I've been wanting to try out and just haven't.
Cool.
So that didn't happen.
That's all right.
But I mean, at the show, I got 2 Formiga species, Achaea, which are pretty cool. You don't see those too often. I got another Brachypelma auratum, so Mexican flame knee, which molted today, and it turns out it is a male.
Oh, damn.
That's so now that I don't know if you listened to the last Direct Nerds episode that we did.
I am not. I'm very behind.
If you have males, Dritz wants males. Doesn't matter what species it is. If you have a male, he's willing to take it because he surely knows somebody that could use it. And so he has this sort of like whole network thing where it's like you send a male, he'll hook you up with some babies or something else or whatever you want to do. Like he makes it work. He wants to find homes for males where they can be used and bred before they, move on to greener pastures. So nice. I have this male auratum now. I got Pacillotheria subfusca Highland. So that puts me at 4 subfusca, 3 are lowland. This one's Highland, so that's pretty cool. Got a good deal on that. And then I got 2 Cereopagopus albostriatus. So what used to be Haplopelma.
Yeah.
The Thai zebras.
Cool, man.
Whatever the common name is. So I got 2 slings of those. So came home with 6 spiders and
nice haul.
It was cool.
That's good stuff, man.
It's working out. There, everything pretty much ate right off the rip, and we just gotta get some size on them. But
cool, man. So, how many spiders you up to?
I don't know.
Come on.
I don't know.
All right. We won't say on air. But that's good, man.
I have the right to remain silent.
That's fine.
I'm down 1. So, like the same day that what's her face bailed on me for the collection, my Metallica died.
Oh no.
So that really was
what happened with that?
It I don't know if it was because I had disturbed it mid-molt because I hadn't seen it in a while, and so I was like, clearly it's molting. I was like, well, let me check and see if it's molting. I checked to see, and it was actively molting, and so I put it back on the shelf. And then after like 2 or 3 days, I was like, okay, I'm still not seeing anything. Like normally you'll see a leg or something, and I go and look, and she's in the same position that it was 2 days prior. And so I opened it and peeled the burrow back and stuff, and it was dead. It
just a
didn't
bad
make it
molt,
through,
man.
Yeah, it just didn't make it through
bad
the
molt.
So that was frustrating, but
damn. Well, at least you got some new
stuff.
stuff.
I'll have to get at least 2 at Daytona. So
there you go. That's the spirit. Which, by the way, is right around the corner.
I know, man. I was thinking that I'm like, we're already halfway through June. Like,
yeah,
crazy.
Blink and it's here, man. Fuck. So, what else, Smitty?
That's pretty much it. I really don't. My guppies have exploded in population.
Delicious. You'll be ready for next season.
Got a bunch of little fry moving around. My ghost shrimp have actually been reproducing, which I think is pretty cool because I wasn't even planning on that.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. I was like, what is that? A little fry? Then I looked and I was like, no, it's a tiny shrimp. And then I saw a little fry. So
nice.
It's pretty neat.
So you only saw one baby shrimp, or that's just you just
there's been a couple, I think. Yeah.
That's cool, man. I love shrimps.
Tank is freaking overgrown in algae because I can't keep it under control.
Oh my God. The whole time I was away, I made the mistake of I accidentally left the fish tank light on. And like I had my dad feed the fish, and he, I guess, didn't think like he probably assumed that everything was on timers because he knows the snakes, everything's on timers. So like for over 2 weeks, that fish tank light was just on 24/7, and it literally was creature from the Black Lagoon, like waves of green algae.
Yeah, that's where mine's at right now. It's got like webs of it in the corners.
Yeah, wild, man.
I need to just probably leave the light off for a couple days to maybe kill off some of it.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm going to use an algicide, but I'm afraid it's going to fuck up the other plants that are in there that I actually want to be there.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I would just, scrub it off by the old toothbrush or by hand or something,
Yeah, I think I took like a paint scraper kind of thing, like a plastic one that I use for vinyl, decals and stuff. I'm just going to start spatulating it off the sides and stuff.
That'll work. Well, shall we dive into this?
Yeah, where you been? What you been doing?
Man. So I was busy with work and just life. And then I had made arrangements to join the NPR boys in East PA and the New Jersey Pine Barrens and, getting ready for that. And that trip wound up getting canceled because unfortunately my fiance's father, who happened to be living in Greece, they're Greek, passed away. So that was shocking. Very, very unexpected, very shocking. And we, in 24 hours, packed our stuff and flew to Greece to handle everything that she needed to handle, and spent just about, I think it was just about 2 weeks. I don't know if exactly 2 weeks, but 2 weeks in Greece. My first time leaving North American continent. So that was very interesting. But it was very bittersweet. Obviously this is a tragedy, man. And very hard.
Easy you want to be traveling.
Yeah, not hard. It was very heart-wrenching. And it's so sad because I know she wanted to show me her island and show me her country and her culture, and we got to do that to the best of our ability, but it definitely wasn't a vacation at all, because we were there for obvious reasons. And it was difficult because you're in paradise, man. It is a legitimate, it's the Mediterranean, it's the South Aegean, it's gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous, but we were not frolicking on the beach. We were
weird dichotomy.
Talking to lawyers and paperwork and municipality buildings, and it was rough. But her family was absolutely wonderful. They love me. I can say with cockiness. They said that my family is nice and my culture is nice, but none of that matters because now I'm officially Greek. They refer to me as Philippos, and I'll take it. So, yep, that happened. And we'll definitely be going back over and over and over again because it's just absolutely incredible. Her island is called Carpathos. It is all the way in the farthest eastern reaches of the Greek Isles, almost to Turkey. And it's the southeast portion of the Aegean Sea, the far eastern side of the Mediterranean. It's a very, very small island. It is probably, I guess it's a little shorter than the length of New Jersey. I mean, probably like maybe 2/3 the length of New Jersey. So very small island.
Are pretty much all those islands inhabited to some degree, or they're?
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, some of them are just a rock. You know, there's nothing there. But if it's big enough to be inhabitable, there's people living on them.
Yeah.
Her entire island's population is about 6,500 people. So it's a fairly large island per its population. It's very sparse.
Yeah.
And it is a huge tourist attraction. So tourists from all over the world, mostly Europe, come to, have a holiday, get away, take a long weekend, take some time off. The beaches are absolutely gorgeous. It's the cliche blue water that you expect to see from, the Greek islands that you'd find on Google Images. But absolutely beautiful. This is actually the picture on top of, actually right outside. We stayed at her aunt and uncle's house. They had like a little side house to their house, and we actually stayed with her aunt and uncle, and that's out my window.
Wow.
So that large mountain in the mist in the horizon, that's the actual island of Kassos, which is just southeast or southwest of the island of Carpathos, which is where we are. Which one? Yeah, that one. Correct. Yeah, that's Kassos. So, and I will say this, despite it being, bittersweet, I'm really appreciative of the fact that I experienced this from a native's point of view in like a native way. Like we did, we went to some tourist restaurants, you know what I mean? But we really didn't do anything touristy. Everything was done like a local. And I can confidently say that I can, drive that entire island like the back of my hand now, just because, to get so what we're looking at right now is called Pigadia. That's it's the Bay of Pigadia, or the port of Pigadia. It's the main capital city on the island. It's really the only city on the island. Everything else is either towns or villages. And for the most part, you got to go there to get stuff, whether it be shipment imports or a bona fide grocery store, and not just a little bodega or convenience store. So there's a lot of driving, and it may only be 3/4 of a mile to get from A to B, but it's going to take you 20-30 minutes because it's all skinny 2-lane mountain passes.
Yeah.
So and there are so many blind turns to the point where you have to honk your horn so that oncoming traffic knows that you're coming, because only one car is going to fit around that corner.
Jeez.
Yeah. Extremely steep, extremely vertical. We were lucky to rent a Fiat 500, and it's either a great testament to the Fiat 500 that it was able to do what it did, or I'm just not used to it and it's a huge piece of shit. Because with I mean, obviously I'm not a light guy, but with the me, Anna Maria, and her uncle in the car, I could barely get out of second gear getting up those steep hills. So yeah, this is her town that her family's from and where her family lives in now. It's called Arcasas, and one of the larger villages in the area. This is actually from her father's, like the little roof porch thing that they have, and that big mountain in the back, that is still Kassos. So same island, we're just slightly north of where I took the last picture. So one of the endemic species on Carpathos is a scorpion species. I did not find that scorpion species. I really did not have time to herp. I tried to get out for an hour here or an hour there. The island is essentially divided in half. And the southern half of the island, the best way I could describe it is almost like eastern Arizona or western New Mexico, except instead of having instead of having cactus, they're olive trees. So
Okay.
it literally is just a barren wasteland of rock and sand and soil with the occasional, thorn scrub type bush and an olive tree. There's no trees at all. It's very, very desert. And then the northern half is pine forest and subalpine conditions. This is a Mediterranean jumping spider. I wrote the scientific name down because I knew I would never remember it. Plexippidus peculi, and it's the pan-tropical or Mediterranean jumping spider. Plexippidus peculi. So that was cool. That was actually on the side of my house.
Look at that little guy.
Super cute.
Oh,
so
man.
that's again the view out my window. So that's from the town of Arcasas, looking at the island of Casos. And I took a ton of pictures. Here's the only snake that I found the entire trip. This was a natrix, European grass snake that was severely waffled on the side of the road outside of her uncle's house.
Damn.
Basically just beef jerky. There's only 2 snake species native to the island, natrix, and I can't remember the scientific name, but the Caspian whip snake. There's rumored to be Telescopus, but there's no INAT records, and most of the herp tours from Europe that have been there have never seen one. I think it's more just like hearsay or like assumption because neighboring islands have Telescopus, so who knows. But that was the only one. That is a Dodecanese thin-toed gecko. Super cool, man. I was so happy to see at least one reptile. This is Mediodactylus ortenzi, ortzeni, excuse me. Mediodactylus ortzeni. I swear I thought it was wow, now I can't remember the scientific name of the damn Australian gecko that lives on the blades of grass and Strophaurus. Yeah, dude, I had to do a double take. I was like, was that Strophaurus? And I look, and it moved like Strophaurus. It looked like Strophaurus, and it wasn't until I actually hit it with the headlamp that I could see that it was obviously not. So that you're gonna have to zoom in on that. That is Scolopendra cingulata. I don't know if you can zoom in.
Download it.
And that's the Mediterranean banded centipede. And apparently they are everywhere on that island. This is the only one I found. It was so hot and so dry for this time of year that I went to find creeks and what should be active riverbeds, and everything was completely dry. I think it has something to do with government irrigation as well. I think they may ration the water in terms of like natural springs and stuff. But there you go. You can see the banding, see the legs. And then those 2 circular shells is a snail species that's just freaking everywhere. I mean, live, dead. It's like a desert snail. It's super cool.
Huh.
So yeah, and then next picture, you can see how big that centipede is just for scale.
Uno momento.
No problem. Yeah, Scolopendra cingulata.
I mean, you can kind of tell from this picture, but
yeah, I mean, realistically, it was probably about 3 inches long. So, and everyone, again, thank you for your kind words, everybody. We really appreciate it. So yeah, there you can see the two snail shells in relation to my hand. So, and Mike Kosicki says it was a great bonding experience. It really was. Like I said, her family's fantastic, and we did have great times with them. And it would come in waves of happiness and sadness and memories and that sort of thing. But it's to be expected, and I think we handled it the best we could. She did not want to pick up the animal on the screen, even though I tried to get her to. That is Porcellio Flavomarginatus, the yellow bordered woodlouse. Dude, I was walking down. They have like these. They have cuts like you would find
Yeah.
in West Texas. I was like, you know what? Let me just hike some cuts. Screw it, dude. That thing was booking along this vertical cliff face of a cut. I was shocked at how big it was. Just, I know it doesn't seem like that big of an isopod,
No, I mean that's a
but
decent size for sure.
dude, that thing, and it was booking it, man, booking it. And I started to like run down the road, and Anna Maria's like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, it's a freaking giant isopod." She's like, "What?" I was like, "A giant isopod." Yeah, super cool. This is actually a cave that has been overly foot trafficked by local tourists, but it's called Poseidon's Cave. So all across the Dodecanese Islands, most of the islands have a ancient Greek god that was their god for that island, so to speak.
Yeah.
Carpathos, it was Poseidon, the god of the sea. This was a shrine cave to honor him. Just on a simple Google search, I guess these cubbies were for people to leave offerings to Poseidon, and there was more elaborate stonework, but over the years of people visiting, it just can't handle it.
Yeah.
So this is from arguably pre 500 BC.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's most likely the oldest surviving human structure on the island. I think the next picture, there you go. So that's what it looks like on the inside.
You think it's haunted?
No. I tell you what though, I feel like if it wasn't so heavily tourist foot trafficked, I feel like it would feel more special. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I feel like the spirits are at bay because of the foot traffic. So this is just a beautiful shot of the northern end of the island.
That's nuts.
Yeah. So I mean, I only sent you a few pictures because I just have tons of beautiful scenery. This is the northeastern side of the island. It's incredible. It's breathtakingly incredible. If you want, I'll send you more pictures. I just didn't want to bore people with landscape just because those were the only animals I actually found. This is a village that's based around a church, and we are so high up on the mountain that those clouds we're in the clouds, and then that's the village below. So actually, let me send you.
So where did you fly into like a larger island and then get to that one via boat, or was it?
So we flew into Athens, which is on mainland Europe, and then because her family had a car filled with stuff that they wanted to bring to their house on the island, because they have a home in Athens, they have a home on the island. We took a ferry that ferry goes to 4 or 5 stops all through southern Greece, dropping off locals basically. It was not a pleasure cruise. It's literally a commuter ferry, if you will. So it stopped at Amantius, it stopped at Santorini, it stopped at Kassos, it stopped at Pigadia. So I got to see Santorini at 3:00 in the morning. That was very cool. I mean, it was dark, but like you could see the houses on the mountain and see all the trucks and cars driving up the cliff faces and stuff. That was super cool. But yeah, so we took that ferry from Athens to Carpathos, and then we flew from Carpathos Airport back to Athens to go home. And Carpathos Airport is the largest airstrip in the Greek Isles. It's almost 3 kilometers long because it's it's a military landing strip.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So if you go on Google Maps, it's actually all blurred out because it's technically a military base. So thought that was pretty cool. Let me send you a couple more pictures if you don't mind. The last day we were there, we decided to take a a drive of the island, simply because Anna Maria had never been to the farthest northern region of the island.
Mm-hmm.
So we said, we got the car. This is the last day. Let's just do something fun and we'll take a drive. So we did hit up a couple different cities along the way, or towns or villages, I should say. And I'll show you this. So this is called Olympus. This is the northernmost village, and it's what they refer to as a traditional village. The people that live there, for the most part, live a traditional lifestyle. They survive on tourism. People go there because they have the traditional dress. The women dress in the traditional dress. The men dress in the traditional dress. But it's literally so high up, it's in the clouds. And I'm going to zoom in here in a second. You can actually see it, but it almost has like a eerie old world vibe to it, because
like Italy in some parts or something.
And
it's the architecture kind of deal.
Absolutely incredible to see.
What was the temperatures and stuff like? Was it hot? Was it?
Yeah, so on the south side of the island, in the deserty region, it was probably 80 during the day with heavy wind, and then 60 at night. And then up here in the clouds in the mountains, it was maybe 72, 69 during the day. And it would have got, we weren't up there at night, but it would have gotten in the 50s at night. So here's a still picture of Olympus, if you want to zoom in and see the actual village. I don't know if you can zoom in or not.
Not on Facebook.
Okay. Actually, let me see if I can crop it and then. Oh, can I crop it? No, it won't let me. Hold on.
Kind of has like a Northern California meets Italy.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, there you can literally see we're driving through clouds. Yeah. Where's Olympus? Here it is.
And they drive on the right side of the road?
Yeah. Okay, I just cropped the picture, so I'll resend it to you. You can see all the little houses in the mountainside. And try and find you. There's one little town called Menetes, and Menetes is the mountain village between Arcasas and Pigadia, the capital. And you have to drive through Menetes to get anywhere on the southern portion of the island. But every time you go, it's so high up and so montane that you lose cell service, you lose your radio for your car, the music radio, FM radio.
That video needs an Amadites sitting right there.
I wish they were native there, man. I wish they were. Let me try and find you that video. Hold on. Yeah, it's the east side of the island again. Man, where is that little? I had a clip driving through Menetes. Oh man.
Did you go swimming?
No, that was just some water near the side. And if it wasn't so windy, it would have been amazing, because it's just the bluest water you've ever seen. So what is this? Oh, that's not it.
Needs to be a video of you on like a bluff shirtless with a conch, like summoning.
Summoning Poseidon.
Yeah.
I wish. That'd be cool. That'd be very cool. All right, let me see this here.
Cookie. Kasiki said, so comparing those temps and maybe a lower cost of living, why aren't you all moving there?
Well, that's because if I made an American salary over there, I would live very, very well off. That does not exist over there. So I would have to either be a millionaire here and just go there all the time, or I would have to have some kind of remote job that paid me an American wage, but I happen to live on the island, which I don't know how that
What
would
do
happen.
a lot of people do for work and stuff there?
The same stuff that they do here. I mean, there's
Okay.
there's plumbers, there's electricians, there's police officers, there's all kinds of stuff. It's normal in
I mean,
that
is there
regard.
like a larger populace that does a certain job?
Well, it's tourism. Everything's
Okay.
based around tourism. So most of the people there have sold their homes and turned them into Airbnbs.
Mhm.
However, now you have so many Airbnbs that a lot of the hotels are suffering because people don't want to stay in a quote unquote hotel. They want
Yeah, I know.
the
I'd rather have an Airbnb than a hotel.
the villa feel. Did you get the next picture of the salt? So that white stuff there, that is actual sea salt. Basically, see where the fisherman is on the rocks?
Yeah.
So the tide comes up over where that fisherman is, and
Mhm.
and we're standing probably 20, 30 feet above the water. The water comes up over all these rocks, and then when it recedes, when the tide goes back out, that water is stuck in that little pool, but the sun cooks it, it evaporates, and over the years, it leaves the salt behind. So
Wow.
that giant white crystal is just a giant bed of salt. So it's absolutely fascinating. Let me find another video here. Yeah, it's just a lot of the same stuff, man. I'm trying not to bore our viewers, our listeners. But I wish there was more herps, man. I really do. That's about it. Everything else is gonna be a lot of the same. So, but I definitely have to go back on more normal terms and see family and herp it, because it's Nipper was telling me, he's herped there and he's seen most of the species there. Well, I don't know, he's seen all the species because he's seen everything in Europe now. But he thinks I could probably do every species on the island if I had a good solid 10 days. So I think it has a lot to do with the weather, has a lot to do with time of year. We'd probably have to go in July or August when it's got a little bit of rain and it's got higher temperatures. But it's amazing the different ecosystems. We were driving back down through the mountains, and Fiat was a convertible. And if you fall off the road, you're dead. You're done. At the same time, the road is peppered with boulders that have fallen from the cliff faces above you. So I'm thinking to myself, well,
it's like driving in Chattanooga.
It's exactly like driving in Chattanooga, dude. Or honestly, like, it reminded me of Asheville. Just giant rock cuts with a cliff on your other side,
a little tiny net that's supposed to stop a 2,000-pound boulder from obliterating the road below it.
Yeah, or a 550-pound Peugeot that the guy happened to lose control of, and now it's barreling down the road. So I was thinking to myself, we got this convertible, we might as well have the top down the whole freaking time. You know what I mean? Get the sun in our face, get the wind in our hair.
It's Brittany, bitch.
It's Brittany, bitch. And aside from driving through the clouds and just feeling the crisp air, like breathing the crisp Aegean air, just hit different, man. And like, I've been all over our continent. I've been from East Coast to West Coast, from North to South. I've been through Canada, the East, the West, the Middle. I've been to Alaska. Like, all of it's amazing. I love our country. It is our country. It's my country. But the crispness of the Aegean air, the fragrances of the coniferous foliage that was subalpine when we're driving through those northern, 5,000, 4,000 foot mountains, just hit different, man. And then at one point, we pulled over just so
like sandalwood.
It was incredible. At one point we pulled over and we got out, and she was just taking pictures of the clouds and the mountains and how tranquil it is. And there's just this pungent smell that just danced up your nose. And I was like, what is that smell? And she's like, it's this. And we start plucking it. Dude, it was wild oregano on the side of the road.
Oh, wow.
So we wound up plucking wild oregano on the side of the road, took it back because, her uncle's got a huge garden with everything from herbs to fruits.
Try to sell it to the locals as weed.
No, man. They know better. And yeah, her uncle's like, yeah, that's oregano. Here, you want some more? I got some more that I picked myself here. And he gave us a bunch of herbs to take home, and that was cool.
See, that's like for me, like a good vacation is like just finding a spot somewhere there with like a case of Monster and some cigars and just sitting there.
I had a pineapple Monster that I'd never had before.
Is it the one in the gold can?
Yes, you've seen it.
You like it?
It was all right. I got it because it was
terrible.
It was Greek,
I thought it was horrible.
I was telling these stories. I forgot about my Gurkha.
That's what I want in a vacation, though. Is like I don't want to. As terrible as it sounds, is like I don't want to go see touristy stuff. I don't, like if we go to, I don't know, Nashville or something. It's like I don't want to go to downtown Nashville. I want to find somewhere that I can just sit and do absolutely nothing.
Yeah, I mean, you can do that, man. And I will say this: the really cool thing about it was obviously I had her. She speaks Greek fluently, which was a godsend. But I would say a solid 60 to 70% of the population speaks very good English. They may not have used it in a while,
right?
But they all know it for the most part. Most of the streets were in Greek and English. Mm-hmm. Signs at the airport were in Greek and English. So it was very accommodating, at least for me in that regard. I never assumed that someone spoke English, but when I'd walk over and good morning, Kalimera, they would hear my accent and they go, English, American? And I go, yeah. And they go, and they would just speak English, just to make life simple.
Damn it. They know.
I mean, I wasn't trying to hide it. I wasn't trying to hide this accent over here. Buongiorno. Yeah. And it it's just very cool that I got to meet her family and experience that and see the culture from the native side. It really was really cool, man.
How much of her family lives over there? Because her mom obviously
the entire Greek side of her family, with the exception of her brother. Okay. Her brother lives here with her brother's in like Virginia.
Gotcha.
But yeah, her entire Greek family is on that island. Mm-hmm. So or in Athens. They go back and forth. So yeah, her dad's cousin, who is like 95 or 96 years old, she was showing us a wooden mirror that it was said "Good morning" at Kalimera. It says that in paint on the glass mirror, and it's over 200 years old. It's been in her family for over 200 years, and like just that in itself is incredible. Like that mirror is older than our country.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's just incredible.
Wild.
Wild.
See, and that's one of those things where people are like, hey, you want to come take a look at this? And I'll be like, no, I'll watch it. I'll look at it from across the room, because knowing my luck, something would happen and I would try to like catch it and stop it from falling or something.
Oh yeah.
Get destroyed. And then I'd feel somewhat responsible for it, if not entirely responsible for it. But,
So
looks good from over here. I like it.
Yeah. So that happened, and it was an incredible experience, but it was it just sucks. It was for the reasons that it was, man. And I feel for her, and I feel for her family, and you know, I'm eternally grateful for all the love and appreciation that they showed me, and I've got nothing but love and appreciation for them. And then we came home, and everything was easy peasy. The flights were great. You know, we didn't get sick. Everything was good, man. All the luggage arrived prompt, perfect. Customs was fairly breeze, you know, with the exception of the long lines. And then I had a week of playing catch up, right? And then I got neurovirus.
What the hell is that?
That's the cruise ship sickness.
Oh.
And I must have shook hands with the wrong person at work, or touched a doorknob at the grocery store with the wrong person or something. But yeah, that is the worst. I think the worst virus I've ever had.
Yeah, you had a fever, and I was like, "Oh, Phil got something from the flight." Like,
oh no, I got it. So I got the fever Monday. I'd already been home for over a week. I got the fever Monday. Tuesday was just hell. Wednesday was hell coming down, and I went to the physician. Physician's like, "Oh yeah, you got neurovirus. You didn't get it from your travel. You got it like 2 days ago, 3 days ago.
Gas station down the
Pretty legit, bro." And I'm like, "Oh, I got that from Wawa." You know what I mean? Like that's exactly what went through my brain. And dude, I would never wish that virus on my worst enemy. And like any people who get that on a cruise ship, and like Carnival is like, it's not that bad. Usually people get over it on their cruise. Bullshit.
Bullshit. Great. So I get to spend this cruise I just dropped all this money on from the coziness of my cabin, where I can't leave and go do anything.
Yeah, man.
You got to drop my food off at the door like I'm in freaking prison.
Yeah, I legit would take COVID voluntarily 3 times in a row before I even went in the same room as neurovirus. Fuck that shit.
I don't know, dude. COVID wasn't fun.
Dude, this was I don't want to get graphic on air. I'll tell you off air what it was like. And it was just the worst, just coming out both ends, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
you were out of work for a minute.
I was out of work for a lot. Yeah. And then so I was lazy before Greece with my animals, just because we have snakes and we get lazy, you know. And then I'm gone for 2 weeks. Then I get back, I do a little bit of cleaning, a little bit, I do a little bit of feeding, a little bit. And I'm like, okay, cool. Next week, I'll really hammer it because I have my fish and wildlife inspection and I want to be presentable for that. And I get the fucking virus. So like, here I am, you know, night before inspection, sweating bullets in my 85-degree desert room, just dying, literally sweating Gatorade, like, fuck my life, just scrubbing wrinkles poop.
Did you sweat colors?
Dude, I wish it was like the commercial. Like, remember those old Gatorade commercials?
Dude, as a kid, I was like, if I'm not sweating green, I'm gonna be upset.
Yeah, legit, man, legit. Yeah, and then dude, and then you know who was was it like fucking Usain Bolt? He always got blue, right? And I was like, damn, I'm not black. I won't ever get blue. You know,
no colors. Coming out at all.
Damn, I'll just get orange every time.
Yeah.
And lemon lime.
Yeah. And fruit punch.
So, yeah. Tyson wanted to know if I got bad vertigo. I got a little bit of vertigo, but it wasn't just from the virus. It was like I'd stand up or get up out of bed and I'd be like, whoa. And then it would go away. So
isn't it weird that I like the spins though? Like what Tyson's saying is you know, he had vertigo for around 3 months and he said he could not lay down flat without the room spinning and slept sitting up. I like that feeling of like the room spinning when I don't know why.
Because you're a sadistic freak.
I feel like I'm on like a carnival ride or something. I'm just
no, fuck that. You and Perry the Platypus, Jesus.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Mike says him and his wife both had neuro at the same time.
Literally fighting
over the bathroom. I'm so sorry, Mike. Mike, I'm so sorry. Tell your wife I'm sorry. Like I know. Like it's the worst. And honestly, I've never been bit by a Gila monster. And Nate says it's called alcoholism. Fuck you, Nate. So now I lost my train of thought. Man, Nate, you got me on that one.
I don't know. I like I feel like I'm being cradled by a roller coaster.
Oh no,
It doesn't bother me. I don't get motion sick or anything either. So I mean, to me, it's like when I lay down, I almost makes me sleep better because I'm like moving, like I'm rotating in the air.
Yeah, and you're so thirsty because you're so thirsty because you're so dehydrated. But then you drink water or you drink Gatorade, and then you lay down because you're exhausted because you haven't slept more than 18 minutes in the past 24 hours, and because you're laying down, you have a belly full of water, so it's got to come out one way, and it's just like a vicious cycle. Anyway,
you got crypto basically. Is that?
Yeah, right. Only, I remember what I was gonna say now. I've never been bit by a Gila monster, but the people that do get bit, they say that the saving grace in terms of keeping themselves calm and reassured is that you're not going to die. And like you reassure yourself, like, I'm not going to die. It's just going to suck.
It's just going to suck.
Right. And honestly, I kept telling, like, as I'm Googling, like, is this cat scratch fever? Like, I pet a wild cat on the trip. You know what I mean? Oh, it took 14 days for cat scratch fever to take effect. I'm like, no, this is not cat scratch fever. And I'm like, okay, like Googling all this horrible WebMD nonsense that you're not supposed to do.
The worst thing you can do.
Yeah. And then I was like, wait a minute. This is freaking neuro. And I was like, oh God, it's neuro. Okay. Just bite your lip and give it hell. Like, this is it. Like, just ride the ride,
Ride the wave, buddy.
That's it. So, and then I passed inspection, which is good. And another year of venomous for me. Yay. And here we are, Monday night.
Any action from the rinks?
So the girl looks great. The girl is getting fat. She's sassy. The boy looks like hammered dog shit. And I had to separate them because I think whether he got the job done or not, I think that the stress of being together has got to him because he's just losing weight and he's still eating. Like, I'm still focused. I'm still feeding them. And then I went in there. What day was this? Man, it was the night I was sick. So like Wednesday night or whatever. And I was just wide awake. And I was like, let me go in the snake room and just like maybe sit in a chair, just like watch some snakes, do some nighttime shit, like not take anything out. Obviously, I'm sick. But like I went in there and I was watching him and he's just doing laps at like 3 a.m. And I'm like, why are you awake? Like, what the hell? So he got his own black box 2x2x2 for now. And we'll just see what happens. And he's still doing the nighttime thing. I think it's just his thing, man. Who knows? So, and I really wanted to pair Subox, but I feel like I missed my window. I think it's too late now. Too late in the season, so to speak. But then again, I don't know because my season's hotter, longer than everyone else's. What do you think? Gillen's still in the chat. What do you think, Gillen?
Worth a shot. I'm
just
not getting no eggs. It looks like so.
From bears?
No, from rhinos or really anything.
Rhinos. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I know like Subox go late. I know that, but like it's already June. Am I hold on. Michael says 2 prelay sheds for mine yesterday and today. Okay. So then maybe I should put them together.
You can't hurt. I mean,
all right. Yeah.
In case nothing happens.
Yeah.
Well, how are the Parabuthus?
Oh my God. They are just the cutest, stupidest little bugs you've ever seen. It pains me that they're dangerous because they're just so adorable in all of like their derpy child mannerisms. Like the one has a piece of cork where there's like a thin little, I guess it's a crack, and it sits in there. So its 2 pincers are out the front and its tail is out the back. So it can still sting, but its whole body is covered by cork.
Like a little hermit crab.
It's like it's like a hermit crab. Dude, the thing just sits there and I place a pinhead in front of it and it just takes it. One of the females, the minute you touch the deli cup, goes completely haywire spastic and just starts doing laps. Just booking it, doing laps. And I sat there. It did laps for like 7 minutes. And then it finally stopped.
It was getting away no matter what.
Yeah, it's just like I'm out of here. So dude, there's so much personality from them. and it's just crazy. And I'm really hoping that it's more the fact that they're captive bred, because all the other parabuthas I've ever had in my entire life were all wild caught, and they did what all the other wild caught scorpions do: they hide under a rock. While as these things, like, they have gusto, like they want to do
bold
stuff. Yeah. Scott's in the chat. He was asking, is it pacing because it can smell the female? I mean, maybe, but it was in with the female for at least 90 days. So I think maybe that's just his thing. I don't know. But I separated them. We shall see. And I gave the Cerastes water, which was interesting. They enjoyed that. I was trying to think of the last time I did it. I think the last time I gave them water was like November. Jesus. So yeah, it's been a hot minute. Actually, that's a lie. I probably gave it to them, I think maybe Christmas time, maybe. I don't know.
That was their gift.
That was their gift. Yeah. They got little bottle caps. This time I did differently. This time, because I wanted to strip out the tubs of all the sand. And I put them in a tub with nothing, a bare bottom tub with a deli lid. And the deli lid was filled to near overflow with water. And I would just let them drink until they're done and they start to move or cruise or whatever. And none of them finished the deli cup lid. So they drank their full and that was it. So, and took out the telescopus for some pictures because I haven't taken pictures of it in a while. And I decided it's finally time to move it into an exo. You know, I didn't want to put it in an exo because I just didn't trust it not to escape. It's like the exact size of the cord holes in the back of the Exoterra. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's like the exact size of those air holes in the back. So I was not gonna
trust it.
Yeah. But now it's much thicker. It's like eating fuzzy mice. Which is crazy because it's been like on pinkies for like over 2 years.
Yeah.
It's wild. But I'm going to do that one up with like pyramids in the background and hieroglyphics. And I want to do that cage up. That'll be fun. So that's about it, man. I wish I had more to report. But
you were pairing Cerastes, right?
I was going to, but honestly, the girl, Keller did. Keller got a great like 24-hour lock. Yeah. Is he still in the chat?
I don't think so. He's past bedtime. I guarantee you he's
asleep. He was a hot minute ago.
Street lights are on. He's in bed, dude.
Yeah, it's true. But yeah, he got some really good locks out of his. He sent me videos and pictures. See, legit, like, I mean, I joke about 24-hour lock, but I think he got like an 18-hour lock, something like that. And yeah, Gillen, that's what I was making a joke about, the Christmas rat snakes, you know. So I guess we'll try it.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'd give it a shot. I mean, I've put some chondros together here and there, just with some of the rainstorms and stuff we've been getting. Just because it's like, why not? You know, nothing happens, but you know, it's whatever. But
yeah, I'll put the wild rose pass together. Wild rose passes together. Yeah.
I got bit by a freaking chondro yesterday on the tip of my finger.
Really? An adult?
Not like a big adult, but an adult, yeah.
Okay.
I was feeding him.
Right.
And I have one in particular that she sits right at the front of the tub all day, all the time. And every time I open it up, it's a mouth open coming at me, like without fail. So I was like, okay, whatever. I knew she was going to do it. Opened it with a hook. Of course, she did the whole thing. And then I put the mouse in front of her. She grabbed it and wrapped it. But she was like hanging on the outside of the tub with that mouse. And so normally I just pick them up like and put them in there. And of course, like I did that and I felt her mouth adjust slightly. And one of them really long front teeth got me right on the tip of my finger and immediately just started bleeding like crazy.
Oh, geez.
And I've noticed that with chondro bites in particular. I don't know if it's because of like the length of them or what, but like the past couple times that I've been hit by a chondro, dude, they bleeds like fucking crazy. And it's almost not even necessarily more of a puncture. It's more of like a slice. Like their teeth are almost like, I won't say they're bladed because they're not, but like when they bite, it seems more almost cut like, because I've had a couple that I've had, like they look more like deep paper cuts than anything else, and they just bleed like
It was
nonstop.
it was to my knowledge that them and
Emeralds.
emeralds and Russian burgeri and garden boas and all those arboreal boids, whatever you want to call them, that their teeth are not, and somebody please correct me if I'm wrong, their teeth are not hollow like a pit viper, but because they catch so much prey on the move, whether it be like a lizard on the run or a bird on the fly, like I guess they're designed to cut into. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And they're almost like lighter and airier
Mm-hmm.
so that they can slice into it. So like that makes sense to me. Why, why you feel like it's.
I doubt you can see it.
Yeah, it's too blurry.
It's just see a little dark spot right in the center there.
Yeah. Which is the worst place to get bit because it just is perpetual paper cut.
It just kept bleeding. I'm like, Jesus Christ. It's like the last chondro bite I got. I freaking bled all over the room, dude. And it wasn't even like a direct full-on bite. I really only just caught a couple teeth, and it was like you would have thought that I had been shot. It was just bleeding everywhere. Like I still have a bottle of Zep that's got blood drops all over it, like dried blood from when I freaking got hit, and just dropped everything and moved to the kitchen to get a paper towel.
Yeah.
I took blood on the carpet and like just.
I took a rainbow boa bite, an adult rainbow, directly to my forearm, like right here.
Yeah.
And I got the perfect oval, but like you said, it just would not stop bleeding. It just kept going and go, like to the point where I was almost concerned, like, am I having a clotting problem? You know what I mean? Like, is something wrong with me? I think
there's like anticoagulants in the saliva that keep it flowing, but still, it's just like for the small wounds that they are.
Yeah.
Especially on the fingers, dude. And the fingers bleed a lot as is, but like,
yeah.
I got bit by that female a couple months ago, because she had grabbed onto the male thinking he was food because I'd put them together. And of course, he moved at the wrong time. She was already amped up, grabbed him, wrapped him. So I'm trying to separate them. And then I finally do separate them. I'm not paying attention to her. She reached out and grabbed I don't remember where on my fingers she got me, but fortunately let go. But poor bastard of a male didn't know what was going on.
Yeah, that stinks, but at least it's
Dylan asked if your male sub-ock has refused any meals yet.
No. So all my sub-ocks are crazy food aggression. Like I pick up the tub to clean and they're bopping their face off. No, like bang, bang, bang on the lid. Crazy. They just want to eat everything in sight. And I know Billy Hunt listening, I do underfeed some of my animals. They don't. They get the right food because I want to make babies. The male wild rose, who I would pair this week probably if I was going to. Well, let's just say I'm going to do it. He won't take frozen thawed unless I marionette it, and I just gave him his first slightly larger wrap up because he's purely a mouse eater, and the last time I fed him was before Greece, and he took a live wrap up. I was like, oh, rock and roll, let's do this, let's go. And so I gave him a slightly larger one, and it took him maybe an hour to like hunt it down and like decide, like, can I fight this? Will I win this fight if I try? And then I was like, okay, he bit it, he wrapped it, and he kept the lump down. So nothing has refused any food, boys, girls, nothing. So
I need to get some live fuzzies or something to try with that adult male conicus that is yet to eat for me, because I was feeding stuff yesterday and he was sitting out a little more than usual, sort of in the pose. So I'm like, oh my God, are you actually hungry? And so I thawed out like a small fuzzy and dangled it in front of him, and he just immediately gets pissed and just abandons food. So I think he's hungry. I just need to give him something small and live, you know.
Yeah, you're gonna do like a Pinky with Fuzz.
Yeah, I mean something smaller.
Yeah.
The 3 younger ones, like them, I do frozen thaw, and I just put it on a deli lid in the tub, and then I'll take them and sort of bring them to the food instead of the food to them. That way they don't wrap it and get it covered in shavings and stuff.
Of course.
And so all 3 of them yesterday, like as soon as I brought their face to it, they grabbed it and wrapped it. And
okay,
that male dude, he's just, I don't know what his deal is, but Smitty's male pounds mice or fingers, except when he wants to pair. That's weird because the female was always more problematic that way than the male was.
And then Smitty, did you ever breed the pair that Gillen got?
No.
Okay, so then Gillen, when you say refuse, is he with the girl or no? Because I have them separated right now, obviously, but they're on top of each other. I mean, sometimes the boys on top, sometimes the girls on top. Whatever, the 2 tubs. But they could definitely, and they're next to other subocs, boys and girls. So I imagine the wafting of the scents is in the air. Who knows? Mm-hmm. But I didn't swap sheds or anything. It's just there.
I know I say it every year, but this year, as we start getting into fall and stuff, late summer, I'm gonna start hammering the chondros with food because I've got to start getting serious about pairing them because they're all going to be like 9 or 10 years old by the time I actually get them breeding if I don't put more work into it.
Yeah, man, go for it.
I need to.
Go for it. I just sent you what's going to be the silver female suboc enclosure from Black Box. And I want to get your opinion on it. I want to get the people's opinion on it too. I want people to be brutally honest and tell me if it looks like dog crap or if it looks cool.
Are we talking about this one?
That is that one. So that picture in the background is a cut that is just a few miles east of Sanderson. Is that
really long one across from the railroad tracks?
No, that this is, I think, closer to town than that one. Okay. But this area is a rumored natural exanthic, whatever you want to call it, suboc spot. And dude, it just makes sense. So like I took some rocks from there that have the yellow and white stone with the black stone within it. And I just tried to foam this one up with the fake grass in the picture. And did I do a good job? Is it all right?
Looks good.
I think the rocks on the side are too flat. Like the foam is too flat. But it's my first time ever messing with foam, and so I don't know. Maybe the next one will be better.
I like the paint and accents.
Cool. Thank you.
Looks good.
All right. And then I just took a black plastic hide cave and I spray foamed the crap out of it. And
did you put a hole in the top too?
I cut a hole in the top with a step drill bit.
Yeah, like a circle bit.
Yeah. And then I just spray foamed it. And then I did dry lock with acrylic paint and just like sponged it with a paintbrush, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. Kind of gooped it on as best I could. And a couple different colors, couple different ways to try and match the rock from the background. And then I just bought the sand that I'm going to use because it's a mix of a couple different shades of yellow and khaki and white. And then I have some of that Exoterra stone. Dude, yeah, that Exoterra stone stuff is so cool, man. They did such a great job of that. All it is colored excavator clay in pebble form mixed in with their ultra fine dyed sand, and it looks great, it feels great, it has the absorption to it. So next video is my brand new knobtail enclosure I made.
Yeah,
and that sand there, that is all stone desert from Exoterra. So, and then that's cork that I painted and rockified.
It's like, why is that rock wiggling for a second?
Right. And then the picture in the background is the actual Pilbara that Dr. Julander took the picture and gave me the picture. So I thought that was pretty awesome.
I remember that piece of art we all signed.
Yeah. Everyone thought I was dying.
That was when Jake made the mistake of giving us his room key.
Oh, really? I didn't hear that. Did I hear that?
Big mistake. He was trying to be. They were all trying to be like secret about it, right?
Yeah.
And it was up in Jake's room, and they were like, "We're all going to sign it." And then he's like, "Yeah, take my room key." And I was like, "Oh, buddy." So while we were all up there signing it, myself and maybe Skylar, I can't remember, someone else like hid some of his stuff, and then I took a pack of Sweet and Low and put it on his bathroom counter, and then cut it up with like a credit card, and then left.
I remember that.
Like a rolled up $1 bill or something
Yeah,
next to it.
I remember that. That was funny.
I was laughing because he's like, "Who did this?" Like, I don't know. I was like, "Who's the idiot that gave his friends his room key?"
Yeah.
You jackass! You walked right into that one,
dude. Jeff Frederick's giving me some critique, which I love and appreciate. He says, nice depth. You need to bury half the high box in some structure. Yes, 1000%. That's what's going to happen. I need to mix. So it's 1, 2, 3. It's 3 different sands, 1 calc sand, and then eco earth. So ground cocoa husk. And yeah, I'm just going to loom that with my hands and then toss it in. But I'm going to toss it in on top of that cave. So that high cave will be essentially under substrate.
Where did you get the Zoomed, not the Zoomed, the Exoterra rock stuff?
I got it underground. You can get it at most pet shop. I think Petco has it, or PetSmart might have it. You can buy it on Amazon, but it's been sold out because I ordered 1 big bag because underground only had small bags, and I was like, "Fuck that! I need a big bag."
Yeah.
And I wound up having to buy multiple small bags from underground because I couldn't get, nothing was on Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure Chewy probably has it. I did not look because I never buy anything off Chewy. Try and get your light color temps up. Yeah, I need to contact Jen and find out if I can even do that, because I think those LEDs are Kelvin set, which is fine. Whatever. What are you going to do? And then what does it say?
I mean, it may warm up some if you're using the warmer colored sands anyways. So.
Yeah, exactly. Scott says get clear lacquer when it's in wet, flick the sand over the hide and sides to get it in. Yeah, that's a great idea. I didn't want to do any of the like wet flicking until I kind of had everything set, just because I didn't want to overspray the wrong color. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, man, good stuff. Yeah, I'm definitely going to bury that high box in that substrate. I tried to do the same thing with black aquarium sealant, and it just looked like dog shit. It looked so bad. Luckily, though, once you peel some aquarium sealant, you know what happens? The whole thing just peels off perfect.
No.
So I literally I did it to another black plastic hide cave just as like an experiment, and I was like, wow, that looks like dog shit. And I started like scraping with my fingernail, and I literally just peeled the whole thing off like a spider web. Yeah. So
you got any pickups in mind for Daytona?
No, I don't, man. I keep telling myself no. I mean, I got Subox in the brain. I feel like I owe it to myself to hit up Rob Nemo, because see if he's got a Subox for sale here or there. Because that would be 3 years in a row I got a Subox off him. But honestly, other than that, I don't, because I really want to produce stuff this year, or at least next year, and I don't want to get more animals and more mouths to feed until I start making my own. So unless something is just slaps me in the face, once in a lifetime opportunity, gotta have it, or some kind of Rob Nemo-ish Subox type thing, or Anna Maria says buy that and keep it at your house, I'm not gonna buy anything. That's it. So
Yeah.
You know, and I'm not going to be vending with Billy or anything. We're just going to go and I'm going to tourist the fuck out of this one.
Yeah, I'm not vending this year either.
Yeah.
Not that I didn't want to. It was one of those things where I was like,
dude, you bring some stuff for some people that want,
right.
you know, pickups, whatever.
I'll do like a pickup thing, or people order, you know, do that.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Maybe it's an every other year thing for me. I don't know. I just didn't. I'd have to. After last year, I said that if I'm going to vend again, I need to double down on tables, and that requires me to double down on display stuff. You know, as far as shirt wall type thing, and then double down on inventory. And it was just one of those things where it's like, I need to plan ahead financially more for that kind of thing, because I try not to take on a ton of debt business wise.
For sure.
You know, so I don't know, but it's also going to be nice to just be there. You know?
Yeah. I'm going to probably drink more than normal and eat more than normal, because I won't have the responsibility of, man, I got to get back to the booth.
Yep.
And I know that sounds selfish, but that's what this year's calling for. So
I believe I'm going to bring 3 or 4 nice sized jugs of moonshine.
Nice.
I got the hookup on some really good moonshine.
Good stuff, man. Good stuff.
Really good. Like, don't even know it's alcohol.
Really?
Dangerous, dude. Oh my God.
Interesting.
I got some in the house right now. I'm tempted to go get some because it's so good. And I'm not, you know that I'm not a big drinker either.
Yeah, just a sleeper juice.
Oh my God.
Nice.
And it ain't the malt liquor stuff that you can get at the liquor store. This is like legit illegal moonshine.
Good.
The best
kind. The way God intended.
That's right.
That's it.
That's what NASCAR was invented for.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Speaking of what?
Getting anything at Daytona?
Nothing.
Spiders.
Spiders.
I'm in spider mode, man.
Yeah, I know.
I'm trying. So that was the crossroads I was at over the weekend. Was like, Adam had a lot of cool one-off stuff that I really wanted, but I'm trying not to get a bunch of one-off stuff. I'm trying to get multiples of things that I currently have, or multiples of things that I don't have, which is why I got what I got. You know, because he had like a single bluefoot baboon that I really wanted, a single mustard baboon that I really wanted. And it was just tempting, but I'm like, I already got 2 erratum.
That's it. You don't have any African shit, do you?
No, not currently.
Yeah, all your stuff's New World and Asian. Yeah.
So, if he had 2 of the mustard baboons, like I probably would have gotten those, because those you just don't see that often, and that was one of the first baboon species, the first baboon species I ever kept.
Okay.
But I got another erratum because I was like, I already got some erratum. I got another Sapfusca because I got some Sapfusca, and then I got the 2 and 2 on the others, just to hopefully play the odds. I mean, I want to try my hand at breeding something at some point when it comes to spiders, and right now,
no reason why you shouldn't.
I have playing the odds game currently, so we'll see. My Costa Rican zebra is a female, and I was looking for a male at the show over the weekend, but all I saw what I thought looked like some males, but they were the tables that were selling tarantulas that weren't Adam and Kyle. Their prices were insane. Like, I saw one table had an Arizona bark scorpion for $40.
Wow,
you are smoking crack.
Yeah, that'll happen.
And some of their other prices were just insane, and and then I was like, I'm just gonna buy from Adam because he's got good stuff. His prices are much more reasonable and realistic, and selection's better. So
yeah.
But I don't know. I want more Costa Rican zebras. I'm really enjoying that one I have. That's a species I do want to breed, and it's super common, and it's one of those ones that I think at some point may go the way of the rose hair and become scarce because it's common and everyone has them. So why breed them? Kind of thing. They're still imported in large numbers, and we'll see. But
yeah, but how many are actually from Costa Rica though? None of them, right?
Is Costa Rica like locked down?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that they all come out of Nicaragua, I think.
Probably.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're all Nicaraguan, but
yeah. I don't know for sure, but either way.
Yeah, that's another country that it's cool now, but it might not be tomorrow.
What's your snake to arachnid ratio in the collection now, Justin? Still much higher snakes to spiders and scorpions.
I'll ask you a question. Should I put my Androctonus australis together?
Absolutely, you should.
Okay.
That's another one I was thinking about with everything currently going on over in the Middle East. Like, are all the bicolor and all those other Androctonus that are brought over in droves? Like,
because most of North Africa has nothing to do with really what's going on right now. So I wouldn't worry too much in that regard.
I was thinking that. I was like, man, I wonder if those wild caught death stalkers and fat tails, if those are all going to start getting tougher if the valve's going to get shut off on those. So
I don't know. I don't see that really happening anytime soon, just because they are collected in number, but at the same time, there is so many areas that are there field collected that it's just like, wow, but that being said, I was waiting until probably June. I was figuring end of June, early July, I was going to see how they were doing and throw them together and see if they duke it out or what. And yeah, so
I need to go and see what my ratio is on my Margar Tatus group. I had one molt out over the weekend. It looks like it's female, and I think there's another one that looks female. So I don't know if I have a male in that group or not. I really need.
How many are there? You've 4. 7. Oh, okay.
But those are once they hit like sort of that small adult instar, man, like the molts and the size growth is wild. How much bigger they come out of those molts.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Crazy. Adult rhinos ovulated yet? No, I don't think rhino eggs are happening this year. I think I did not keep my room cool enough in winter. I think because of the spiders and stuff, I kept the heater on, so I kept it a little warmer than I typically do in the colder months, and I think that caused a skip in the breeding this year. So looks like the only thing I'm getting this year as far as eggs is this wild caught Ladies Island female.
That's cool, man. That's fine.
And I'm contemplating just holding on to that female that's going to drop and then releasing the male and female back on my parents' property.
Yeah, go for it.
It's so nice looking though. It's hard to do.
I mean,
it's hard.
See what the babies look like.
Yeah.
See what the babies look like.
Wow.
And I decided to not pair the Okeetees. I'm gonna wait till next year. Definitely, I think at least give them one more year, and they'll just be that much bigger. And then I think next year is definitely 1,000% multiple types of suboc, and then Arizona Mountain Kings and Okeetees.
What about water pythons,
dude? Please don't get me started. I took the girl out the day or two ago. She is fucking massive, for a water python. Just, I mean, obviously not as big as the ones the NPR boys saw in the wild and shit, but sent picture to Nipper and him compare my Queensland compared to his Fog Dam multi-proven breeder. My snake is 3 times the size of his.
Jeez. And
I'll be honest, I think I just need to have my dad help me hold them, and I just need to reprobe them, because I really have a feeling I might just have 2 girls. I don't know. I'm just like, it's like I don't want to know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it's been
You
so
have your
long.
suspicion and you don't want to confirm it.
I don't, because then like I'll just be pissed because I'm not gonna get rid of them. They're my fucking babies. I love, well,
Right.
especially the girl, dude. The girl is like my fucking. Yeah, Scott says they are two different species, Phil. Yes, no, I'm aware, but it's just crazy that mine are as perfect as they are, and they just don't want to do it. So I think I'm doing something wrong. Or they're two girls. One or the other.
Snake wise, I think if there's anything I'm gonna get at Daytona, it'd be another Andean milk.
Oh yeah, because you just have the one.
I have the two. I have the pair.
Oh, I thought you just had the one. I'm sorry.
I got two, and then I have those two house snakes from Dustin that I haven't even figured out the sex on those yet. I wouldn't mind another one or two of them. And there were some Conicus at the Repticon over the weekend.
Oh really?
That was tempting, but they were a little expensive, and the vendor there was one of the people that I got my first Brettles from that also came with a nice present of mites. So I was like, meh. Rather get a Conicus from Robert or,
Yeah.
Because Robert's got nicer ones that are also considerably cheaper than what that guy had them for. So
yeah.
It's tempting. I love those little bastards, dude.
Oh, and I was gonna say I forgot. I was gonna pick your brain on something. So I contemplated trying this with maybe one or two puff adders, and I feel like it would work better with the Conicus than it would with the puffs, because the Conicus go in the substrate, whereas the puffs like sit on top of it. But have you thought about doing a good layer of sand that they could Cerastes themselves into, and then aspen on top of that?
No.
Almost like a leaf litter. I feel like you should try that for a month or two with one or two of them, maybe your problem feeder, and see if that changes things. Basically making a leaf litter that's not leaf litter. Does that make sense?
I mean, if I was going to do it, I've got so much oak and stuff here, dude. I could go get oak leaves for years.
Oh, well, then there you go.
Run out, and
there you go. But I would still do
like a layer of sand with like leaf litter on top.
Yeah, do like a solid 2 or 3 inches of sand. Like I know it'd make the tub really heavy, but like a solid 2 or 3 inches of sand, and then like an inch of leaf litter, and just put them in there on like a Monday, and then like Friday, drop in a live fuzzy. Just see what happens.
Yeah. Like I said, I think he's hungry. I think it's just a matter of like, he's super shy. He doesn't like me. And like the conditions got to be just right for him to want to eat and not find a lady. So I've decided that I do need another female Conicus, because I have my two, but they're still young, and I would like to find an older one if I can. And I was talking to Robert, who we had on a couple months ago. He's Boa Erix on Morph Market, and I was like, dude, how come every time you go on Morph Market, you'll be hard pressed to find an adult female Conicus or a Conicus older than like a year and a half, maybe 2 years on Morph Market? He's like, because anybody who has them, they're keeping them, like they're holding on to them. They're not.
Yeah.
If by some small chance I find like an older Conicus female at Daytona, that's a reasonable price, I would probably snatch that up too. But because I'd like to use that male, I feel bad for him because he's been on hunger strike for a year and a half now. And
have you weighed him at all? Has he lost any weight?
He hasn't, not that I can see.
Okay.
I'm not worried about him.
Yeah, fuck it.
I've asked Robert about it a couple times too, and I'm like, dude, like, you sure he's good? And he's like, dude, he's fine. He ain't physically thinning out. He's fine. And his attitude is just as shitty as the day I got him. So that hasn't changed. So I think that's a good sign too.
And he's not like a different locality or anything that makes him pissed off.
No, I honestly, like, everyone talks about how calm and stuff they are. So far, my experience has not been that.
Oh, really? Yeah, but you handle the other ones, right?
Every now and then, not really. They're still pretty small too. It's just I don't trust them.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
You know what I'm talking about? Like, you know what I'm talking about, like, with
Yeah.
pups. You get the eyes, like you see the eyes moving, and you're like, you can tell they're like tense.
Yeah.
That at any point they could just fling themselves, because when
We'll
they
see.
fight,
Like
they seem to
you
do it with
can't
so much force they just launch.
you can't compare it to a puff because no matter what you do, a puff's going to get you. I would say to me, they always reminded me of Bloods, and like I'm a closet blood guy.
Yeah, that's a better.
Yeah, I'm a closet blood guy, and like there's been so many times where I'm like, oh, I'm gonna get bit, and like I pick up my blood, and nothing happens, and I'm like, oh god, I was wrong, I was fucking wrong, but like it's still looking at you like you were right, you just did a good job, don't worry, you know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about,
You
right?
didn't get bit because I didn't want to bite you.
Exactly. You didn't get bit because I'm intelligent and know that you're not food.
Gillen asked if I've thought about Saharans or dabbling in low-cal rosies. Rosies, I kind of have to not pay attention to because I'm afraid that's a wormhole I'll get sucked into. And the one experience I have with keeping a rosie was when I was a kid, and that thing was fucking demonic.
Yeah.
That was the shittiest little snake I've kept.
I can't, man.
Ever. It was so bad.
Yeah, except for those Lucy's that we saw at Daytona that what's his name had. Oh my god, now I feel horrible. I can't remember his goddamn name. He's gonna listen to this. He's gonna be pissed. But I will say this.
Not Boca Joe.
No. In Reno. Wow. With a D. And now I can't remember.
In Reno?
Yeah. Oh my god. Never mind. Keep going, because he's gonna message me and be upset. Kevin Arbogast, dude, I look at his fucking like James Bond bloods and just all the James Bond bloods, and I'm like, no more tropical, stop it.
Don't
but
do
like
it.
Dude, I like at least once or twice a week I look at his shit.
That's how it would happen, dude. When Nick Bettini was posting his stuff, man, it was like, god, Nick had the best stuff in the world as far as bloods go, at least in the States, which I don't know. Did you hear the news that he is no longer with us?
I did hear that.
I meant to bring it up last time we did THP, and I didn't, just because kind of we got the ball rolling on things quicker than I expected. But that was a pretty big bummer. To put it lightly, Nick was a buddy. I wasn't like super close to him, but we had definitely talked on a regular basis. He was a fellow South Carolinian, and when I saw the news of that, man, it was pretty shocking. And I know myself and many others, like, had we known something was wrong, any of us would have reached out to him.
Of course.
And done what we could. It's so shocking. And it's, again, proof that you don't always know what's going on in people's lives and heads and stuff. And
for sure,
it's, I think, what is June Men's Mental Health Awareness Month? Yeah. Or was that last month?
I think it's this month, right?
It's like we've talked about it enough on this channel. At least Jake and I have. It's like, it's okay to ask for help when you feel like you need it. And it's really unfortunate because he left behind a wife and a very young daughter, and an absolute immaculate collection of animals. Yeah. And it's frustrating because I know that any of us would have done anything to help him out, if we had known. So
for sure. Yeah. I was talking to some of the NPR boys, and the sentiment was the same. It's like, people, you can't always know what's in their head, and some people are just, it's too bashful to speak up, or however it is. And sad, man. It's sad. But on a lighter note, dude, look at Kevin's fucking golden eyes. Ugh. I know, right? Stupid. I love it.
Yep. It's one of those ones, man. I can't look at it for too long.
I know.
Just don't do it.
I know.
Don't look at it directly in the eye. But no rosies for me. I like rosies. I appreciate them for what they are. Don't really have any desire to get sucked into that black hole.
Isn't there a Saudi one?
I think that's the goofy looking one. No,
is it? No,
stupid sock puppet looking one.
No. I thought that was
That's the Arabian.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Then it is. Yeah. How come you never got into that?
I don't know. I've had canyons off and on over the years, and they're cool and all. Like Saharans, I don't have much of. There's not a whole lot of appeal there for me. Like pretty much Conicus, and then the only other thing that I would consider as far as sand boas go would be like Russians. But even those, it's a very like, if some happen to fall into my lap, I wouldn't be upset, but I'm not gonna like really make an effort to get my hands on some.
Right.
Yeah, that's killer.
Look at the ass end of that animal, the last third of that animal.
Just crazy. Big, beautiful slugs.
Just big, beautiful slugs.
I'm all in on Conicus, though. That's my jam. I'm watching this Mediterranean gecko go after this moth, and I love it. Nice.
Oh, my fiance's in the chat. Hello, my love. Agapimo.
Yeah, Arabians are very hard to find, too. Yeah, there's some European sand boas that are kind of cool. Like I said, Conicus are sort of the one true love in that group.
Yeah. You know what Underground's been getting in on imports is striped kukris. And
really?
Yeah, they had one or two. Oh geez, it had to have been at least like whatever the last shipment was, maybe 3-4 months ago. They had one or two drop a couple eggs. They incubated them, those hatched out, and dude, they got all of them eating raw egg.
Wow.
So, dude, and some of them, man, like I was real apprehensive to handle, just because
for obvious reasons.
For obvious reasons. But dude, that whatever striped locality they got, I don't know if it's Malaysia or I think they got a Vietnam shipment in. Whatever that locality is, dude, not prone to
really
be defensive in the least bit, man. I think it's because they're just fat and happy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They legit were keeping them at high 70s on Aspen with a water bowl and just a cup of egg, and they drown it like a milkshake. Yeah.
Rubber boas are cool too. Like I've been tempted by rubber boas just because I find the natural history and ecology of them so fascinating. But
oh yeah,
that's not one that I don't think I'd ever
more than rosies.
I wouldn't try to breed those or anything like that. That would literally be one of those species where I'd have one or two of them just for the enjoyment of having them, but
it's one of the sole reasons I want to go visit Gillen.
Those and Hypsiglenna.
That's it, right?
One day I'll make Hypsiglenna happen.
Dude, I just saw somebody posted
Jordan Parrott just posted some killer photos of some they saw out in Texas.
Someone had Chihuahuans in captivity that I guess they were producing or whatever. I just saw on Instagram. Was that
Connor Wardle?
Was it Connor?
It might have been. He's the only person I know of that's putting any.
No, because I feel like I would have realized it was him.
I don't know what it is about Hypsiglenna, dude. I just find those little bastards to be so cool. Just a cool little rear-fanged danger noodle. Oh my god, a lady. I was walking by a table Saturday, and I had walked into the show, found Kyle's table, saw some Fusca, bought it on the spot. Like hadn't been in the show like 5 minutes.
Nice.
Because I saw it, and I was the only one he had on the table. I was like, I'm gonna get it.
Yeah.
Price is right. So I was like, I'm doing it. And then I walked around the show. I was like, okay, well, let me go scope everything else out, and then I'll probably be back. Which I told Adam that. And I was like, I'm gonna get more stuff. BRB. So I'm walking by this lady's table. And she's like, oh, what do you have? And I'm like, yeah, I got a little ornamental tarantula. And she's like, oh, I love spoods. And then she said something about like their cute little eyebrows or something. And I'm like, yeah.
Okay.
And I just was like, thanks.
Nice.
Big gulps, huh? Well,
yeah.
See you later.
Nice.
Kept walking.
Yeah. Oh man.
Like, you just said spoods out loud in public in a very loud manner.
Mm-hmm.
In some countries, you get shot for that.
Nice. Tyson says he loves his rubber boas. and hoping they will finally have babies this year. So that's good.
I think it's mostly the saga involved with trying to get babies out of those that it seems like so much work.
I don't know, man. I'm kind of
Waiting,
with you.
so much time, and
The ecology of it, and
that's what's most interesting to me.
Yeah, like the North American Calabar python. You know what I mean? Like, it's just cool.
Well, just like the fact that they can handle what they handle in the wild, like they're living in areas that so few other species are surviving in, and they do it so well and like almost effortlessly. It seems, just they're such a strange and bizarre. Like I honestly forget that they're a native species sometimes because it's like you kind of forget that they're there, but it's like. And out of all the species in the country, dude, that has to be one of the most interesting, without a doubt.
I would love to know if, like, the I would say lower 48 rubber boas, what their annual caloric intake is compared to Gillen's, Yukon rubber boas, what their caloric intake is, and really see how vastly different they are, because I feel like Canadian boas just have less opportunity to eat and less prey items to eat. If maybe I'm wrong, I don't know.
Yeah, you don't have to keep them to appreciate them, but they just seem so interesting that it's like at least try my hand at them. I don't know how well I mean, I guess if Tyson has them in Florida and he's not having any issues, then I don't think I'd have any more issues than he would.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Tyson says it's very frustrating in the wild. They might only give birth every few years. Several breeders get them to breed every year. Not him. Sorry, bro.
But I mean, are they supposed to breed every year?
I mean, I don't know.
Physically, is that too much on a species that can't be an annual breeder?
I don't know, because in captivity, though, there's no stress of predation. There's always water, so it's never dehydrated. It has ample food opportunity. You know what I mean? Like it's ideal conditions for reproduction, in my opinion. So I guess if it only bred every 4 or 5 years in the wild to conserve its health, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I'm talking out of my ass. Who knows?
I just look at it from the standpoint of like, yeah, I can floor my car every time I go to work in the mornings and run it as fast and as hard as I can, but that's not going to do good things for the longevity of that vehicle.
That's true. That's very true.
I don't know.
Yeah.
They're cool.
Yeah, very cool. Rubbery.
I would worry more about the age you start breeding them. Yeah,
it's true.
I feel like you're that might actually be an easier part of it, because if they're not breeding until they're like 5 or 6 at a minimum, then you're not going to get any action out of them earlier than that anyways, right? So.
Yeah. Well, dude, that's like Lepidus. You really should only breed Lepidus every other year, but it takes you 6 to 8 years on some species or some localities to get them to even want to breed. So it's like, I've got two different localities of rock rattlesnakes right now, and I'm not going to breed anything till at least 2030. Wow.
Really?
Yeah, because they're babies, man. They're 2 years old already.
The moles?
What's that?
Talking about the moles?
Yeah. So I got a pair of moles, and then I had a pair of adult moles, and one died. The male died, which is very frustrating. And then I got a pair of big hatchet clobs. So
big hatch,
which is great because Kyle was cool enough to send pictures of mom and dad, and dude, the girls looking like mom and the boys looking like dad, and like that just, oh my god, if they look like mom and dad, dude, dad is like fucking mint green and mom is just hot rock pink.
Yeah.
So
like that Himalayan rock salt on your mint ice cream.
Legit Himalayan rock salt on my mint ice cream. Oh, you're such a cunning linguist.
Thank you.
Yes. Well, sir, is there anything else you want to touch base on this evening?
Nope.
Cool beans.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on later this week, if Flippington's happening or Arachnerds. I'm supposed to get an idea of Serg's work schedule here, I think tomorrow maybe. I don't know what's going on. So be on the lookout for that, whether it's Flippington or Arachnerds or THP. We'll see. Schedules have been really jacked up the last month or so, as you can tell.
Yeah.
So apologies for any sort of delays and things like that. You know, we hate having to skip weeks and stuff because I know at least a couple of you guys look forward to these on a, you know, the shows on a regular basis.
And we appreciate that.
We do appreciate that. But when you got this many moving parts and people involved, it gets tough to get things consistently happening when they're supposed to. And, you know, it is what it is. Things happen.
But we're booking. We're booking.
But this episode, as always, brought to you by FulviusApparel.com. Changed it up on you.
You did.
Go to THN at checkout, get 15% off your order. That is the exclusive promo code for THN listeners and viewers like you. And then Cold-Blooded Caffeine, best coffee around, Snakes and Stogies blend. Don't miss it. Get your hands on some. Use the code SMOKE at checkout. That should get you, I believe, 10% off your order. And then blackboxcages.com. Brax Cages. Everything you need and more. Use the code THN25. Save a little bit of money. Whether you need something big, you need something small, you need a rack, you need, you know, vertical cages, horizontal cages, cube cages, whatever, they got it. Go shop around, check it out, see what they have to offer. I am currently sort of slowly getting the ball rolling on another raffle. Right now, I'm thinking maybe as we get on the other side of summer and it starts to cool off a little bit, because if we want to do animals again, I don't think anyone's going to want to ship in the middle of summer. I don't know about down there, but it's been brutal here already.
Yeah.
I feel like the next 2 months is going to be absolutely nuts as far as temps go. And I know a lot of people probably aren't going to be comfortable shipping. So I'm thinking start sort of getting the feelers out for anything people want to put up to donate to that. And then maybe we do a dry goods portion, you know, next month, and then we move to live animals sometime, maybe like August, September. I don't know. I want to do something for ASF, who, you know, Phil and I both are very large supporters of and love.
Yeah.
So if anyone has anything they're interested in possibly putting up, Jeff Frederick sent a handmade humidor that is
super cool, man.
Really freaking cool.
It's so cool.
I got it. It's on my kitchen table right now, and every morning I walk by and just look at it. I'm like, oh, man, that thing's slick. It's slick. Real nice.
It's a showstopper.
One of a kind, legitimate art. So now that he sent that to me, I feel like I got to really start sort of getting some things together for another raffle, because it's been a couple of years since we did the last one. That's one thing that I said I would like to do at least once a year, and that hasn't happened. So, he wants me to show it. Let me go grab it real quick.
Yeah,
and I'll do that.
Go grab it. Go grab it.
BRB.
Yeah. And we really love doing these raffles, because not only is it, you know, when we do a big one for ASF, which is the Asclepian Snakebite Foundation, these are doctors and researchers and scientists, medical professionals, volunteers in West Africa who are helping treat and cure snakebite in West Africa. Most of them are doing it pro bono. They don't get paid. The facilities are funded on contribution and donation only. So it's super helpful to them. And they're helping educate people about snakes and snakebite. But we've also had some individuals who needed assistance. And it's cool to have a community like ours that can band together and donate some cool stuff and raffle off some cool stuff and raise some money for some great people and go from there. There it is. Oh, dude, that's so cool, man. So cool. Oh, love it. Oh, it's glass top? I didn't even realize that. That's great. Little feet on the bottom. Very cool. Very cool. Legitimately one of one. Jeff Frederick, hand built, hand painted. Contortrix humidor. He says it's cedar all the way around.
The winners may not get the peanuts inside though.
Oh, okay.
Those might be for me.
Yeah, just save those tasty suckers for yourself.
Yeah, it's very nice. I need to put it somewhere safe because I'm deathly afraid that my cat's going to knock it off a table or something and ruin it. So that's partly why I left the peanuts in there in case.
I said, dude, just bubble wrap it and box it up now. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, just box it up now.
I'll put it in my closet for the time being because the cat doesn't go in there. So
yeah, cool stuff.
But yeah, it's absolutely killer. So now that Jeff has sent me that, I feel like I gotta really start getting things rolling with that and making something happen. And
for sure.
So stay tuned if anybody has anything that they might be interested in donating, whether it has a heartbeat or not. I haven't talked to Reptiles Express yet because if we're going to do live animals again, I'm going to see if Mike and the boys will help with shipping animals again like they did the last one. Just because I'm a diehard Reptiles Express user. I don't use anybody else. No matter how cheap other companies may get, I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah, man. Those boys take care of us.
They've been there for us. We're going to be there for them.
Legit.
So, again, I'm thinking as it cools down, that might be a better time to maybe do live animals and stuff. So we'll see, but stay tuned and we'll see everybody later.
Bye.